What's up, guys? Listen, if you haven't known or you haven't heard already, Star Wars The Force Awakens is out in theaters. It's probably going to be number one all time films. It's going to be Avatar, it's going to be fucking Avengers, Batman, Jurassic World. We know Jurassic World made a lot of money. So, George Lucas, we knew beforehand that he said that this movie was definitely, don't quote me on this, but he said basically this movie was made for the fans and the fans are going to love it. Now a lot of people took his words to heart and say, okay, he says the fans will love it, but what do you think, George? What do you think, George? Mr. George Lucas, Mr. Lucas, do you love it? George Lucas is really starting to regret his decision in selling his beloved Star Wars to Disney. He called the Disney executives and people who are handling right now Star Wars pretty much white slave owners. That's pretty much what he said. Don't quote me on it, but that's pretty much what he said. Oh, George, I kind of feel for the man though. Okay, he was shitted on so much by Red Letter Media, shitted on so much for the prequels. This guy, like everywhere he went, he was hated. He was beloved for the original trilogy, but he was hated for the prequels. So I mean that's gonna take a lot. This guy is a human being. Yes. Is he greedy? I think he's greedy. Does he make tons of money? Yes, he does. But he's a human being, and being just constantly being thrown, criticized, yet beloved at the same time. It's a whole different experience. So him going around and really just saying, "Well, I gave Disney my ideas and they just threw it out the window." They threw it out the window. I would have took it. This is a drama. This is a soap opera. This has always been a soap opera, and I am not really the way they took it. It's for the fans. It's not for me, and that's not where I would have went with it. I would have liked something new. He said that he would have liked something new, and that's kind of some of the complaints I had, and a lot of people had with it, is that it's kind of a certain film all over again, kind of a rehash a little bit. So I see where George is coming from, and the one you got to give it up to George. When it came to the prequels, yes, they were terrible. A lot of aspects were terrible. Some things were good about them, but a lot of aspects were terrible. You got to give it up to him to say, or to at least have the balls to do a little something different. Of course, there's a lot of things that were the same, like it's poetry. It just rhymes, but he did do a lot of design work and a lot of things a lot different. Like it didn't look like a Star Wars original trilogy film, and so he did that. At least he did that. So I can't really. I get what he's talking about, and honestly, I kind of feel for the guy. The guy, this is Star Wars. He created this. This is his baby. This is he gave up. He just gave it away. He didn't even give it away. He sold it. So you can't blame him, or you can't really get on board with that. You can't feel sorry for him for selling it because that was his own damn fault. But you do kind of understand a little bit that, okay, he's starting to regret his decision, because we make decisions. Life is about decision making. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and sometimes in the long run, then you start regretting it. And I think he's starting to regret it. It's like that. Let's say it's like the husband. It's like the husband cheating on the wife. They have kids. He's constantly cheating on her. They divorce. He thinks he could live without her and the kids. He thinks he could, start a new life. But down the road, he's 10 years down the line, he looks back and he says, I really did ruin somewhat of a good thing. So it's kind of like, I guess that's not the best example, but I feel like it's like that. Like where George said, I could live without it, but it was a lot sooner. He's like, I don't like how they're handling it. I don't like what they did. They took something that was mine, and I put my heart and soul into it, and they really changed it up. Which, I thought they're doing a great job with it. I think the next film's going to do it's going to be fantastic. But I still see where George is coming from. But it's his own fault. It's his decision. So I just wanted to put my 2 cents on there. So very interesting how George Lucas is going around just old man George. George is just going around pissed. 71 years old, looks pretty young. So just pissed. He's just pissed. And hey, George, you're 71 years old. You should have knew, like, decisions come to bite you in the ass sometimes, and decisions sometimes help you out. So it is what it is. It's time to hand it over. And I think he knows it's like a marriage, and like it's a divorce. It's over with. You got to move on. Start your life. Do something else. Who knows? Thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. For just overall, if you like my videos, and like the video if you like it, and comment below. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on Dan Making Dan. Son, I'm out of here.